Welcome and good evening, everybody. And for those of you watching this later on, I'm so glad that you found us on our various center channels. We do have a number of people joining us, so we're going to give everybody just a moment to join. I can see audio connecting. I see lots of smiling faces. Fatima, look at all these lovely people.
I know, it's wonderful.
They're looking forward to, hi, Donna. Yeah, they're looking forward. Look at how many pages. I got to go to my next page here. What do we got happening? Look at all these folks. I see audio connectings. I see everybody's here. Welcome.
And some of the views and stuff, like the backgrounds, and
everybody knows how to use Zoom now. They put their backgrounds on and beautiful pictures.
Very different from when we started with Zoom.
Absolutely.
18 months ago, right? It was just like, okay, how do you do this? And how do you do that? See, we're all experts now.
Fantastic. Well, a little bit of housekeeping as we get started here this evening. Welcome. My name is Andrew Fowler, and I'm one of the hosts of the Tuesday Travel Talk series with the group of offices here that you have relationships with. If you do have a question or have a comment, please leverage the chat feature in Zoom. Lauren, who is also on here, hi Lauren, she's from our North Burnaby location. She's going to be monitoring as best as she can through this, as will I. But yeah, we have a different type of setup for you this evening on a presentation. So questions, definitely to the chat. We can see all of you. We're going to go into a presentation mode, and you'll see Fatima and I have a discussion and a presentation coming up. There's something special happening, some sort of promotion, Fatima. What's happening this month?
We are having a freestyle sale exclusive to Expedia Cruises. So It's very exciting, and it's a one-time offer for...
Mum's the word. We have to save it to the end.
To save it.
Yeah, we have to say that.
But it's really good. And I might surprise you guys at the end of the presentation with more extra perks that no one else is getting them except you guys. So
exclusive to Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, you better be calling us or coming into the office. I mean, you come and visit any of the locations that are on here. I see a couple of my colleagues. I see Jeremy from our Victoria and Comox Valley location. I am going to miss somebody, but I'm skipping through the screens here. What else have we got? Oh, I got another page coming up. Well, folks, it's 3 minutes after. If I was a train in Europe, I'd already be late. So let's get this thing. My good friend Elaine from Sydney is coming in here as well. Well, let's get her into the room. Admitted. Fantastic. Well, welcome everybody. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Andrew Fowler. I am one of the franchise partners here in the North Vancouver and Lynn Valley. We do have other locations with us here today. I'm just trying to get that fired up for everybody. Bear with me. There we go. And here we go. Yes, there is our lovely group of franchise partners who you have probably met or you have worked with consultants from these offices throughout beautiful British Columbia. We're so happy that you've joined us here this evening because we do have a unique presentation and discussion with NCL. Fatima Da Silvia, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and welcome everyone.
Fatima, I am so glad that the industry has been able to keep you here with us and keeping things to come back. I mean, I'm so glad that you're on our team helping us return to sailing.
Thank you, and I'm excited to be back, and there is a lot of exciting stuff coming up. You know, we're back into the waters, we're sailing, everything's going really well. People are excited to be back on the ships, and so is all of our staff. So it's exciting times. You know, I think it was like 540 days that our ships didn't sail. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I wasn't keeping track of them, but I'm so glad to be reading the updates from the ships, from the captains who are on these ships. They all have social media accounts. They've been showing what's been happening. We've been on different vessels here the last couple of months. But let's dive into a little bit about Norwegian Cruise Lines. For those of you attending this, you're familiar with this, but you may not be familiar with what they call freestyle. So let's just jump into the fire here, Fatima. What is so special about Freestyle?
Well, freestyle is you do your vacation how you want it. We don't tell you how for you to have your vacation. So, that's the nice thing about the freestyle cruise. You make your vacation how you want it. You get to eat when you want. You can go and see the shows as you like. So lots of flexibility, right? That's the nice thing about the freestyle cruising. And our ships are also all built for freestyle cruising. So, like example, some of our bigger restaurants, we have, three main dining rooms. We have a pub that's 24/7. So if you don't feel like going into the dining room, you can go into the pub and have your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So, it's the flexibility, right? Like you can go and do a show and then go and do dinner afterwards. Or if you've been at a port all day and, sometimes you go to port and you get tired and you just want to get back into your stateroom and have a nap before you go for dinner. So when you're able to do that with us, you don't have to be back to the ship to be at the 6 o'clock dining time, right? So that's the nice flexibility. And the best part is resort casual, right? You don't have to dress formal if you don't want to. So that you do what you like to, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we have a full doc here to cover off, and I forgot to introduce a little bit about Expedia Cruise Ship Centers to everybody. I'm pretty sure all of you have heard this household name. Our offices have been in the communities now for many years. We're all independently owned and operated. The centers that you're part of here are all part of what's called our Diamond Center level offices, which means we certainly attain a certain amount of sales each year, and we continue to grow our sales. But we also contribute back to the organization of over 300 locations through seminars, through focus groups, and that stuff. So you're dealing with centers that are very mature that contribute back. We're also part of what's called CLIA, the Cruise Lines International Association. Now, you may not know or hear CLIA, but they're kind of like the good housekeeping seal of approval. And if you are an elite member of CLIA, it means you've attained a level and a status that means you are leaders in the industry. And we are in the top echelon of that. There's only 25 elite organizations that are part of that process, but there are thousands of others below us in the organization. So when you're working with an Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, you're working with somebody that you can trust, who has experienced the product and knows what they're doing. A lot of us travel for a living, and we get to share with you. Well, let's jump back into a little bit of stuff in here. Oh, zoom. I love this and where this is going, Fatima. What's that?
It's our famous racetracks that we have on our ships. So something different.
So I get to racetrack my way, right?
Yes, you do.
Here's a little bit about the upcoming offer that we have. Now, Fatima, is this at the beginning or end of my presentation here?
You're at the beginning, and so I've actually put the slide at the beginning and at the end, because sometimes, you tend to forget because we are going to be talking a lot. So
we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
We are, I think. So, and there's lots of great promotions, great savings, like up to 2,900 savings in value. So it's big, right? So especially exclusive with Expedia, with the free gratuities for first and second guest is huge, right? So it's adding on top of the 2,900 savings value is a great promotion. So.
Yeah, and talk to your Expedia counselor, travel counselor, because they'll know which pieces of those give you the maximum value throughout that process, as well as the air component of all this. So yeah, definitely talk to your Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. If you've got any future travel vouchers, or you know somebody with one, you know what? Referring a friend always helps.
Yes, get extra money in your pocket.
Oh, in your pocket. I love this shot. Tell me, where is that? Oh, I can see some other shops in the background there. Lots of things to do on a ship. How many different things or venues are there on most of your newer ships here?
So newer ships, we'll be going through the slides anyways, but this here is 678 Ocean Place. So I always say it's the heart of the ship. So it's where all the activity, all the buzzing happens, sometimes until 4, 5, 6 in the morning, because you have, Coco's, you have the nightclub, right? Like
that's me.
Right? Like it's, so much to do. You can come from the atrium, from listening to a live band or a comedy show, you know, hey, you know what, let's go dancing for like 30, 40 minutes. So you just walk like 2 steps, you're in, you know, the nightclub. And then, like I had mentioned earlier, the dining, the no fixed dining times. You can get dressed, go casual. We have so many options where you can eat. This is an amazing location. It's one of my favorite areas, and I don't know about you, Andrew, but I love the waterfront. Like, where can you know, we're always home, and we've been home for the last 18 months. If I have the opportunity to eat dinner or eat any meal outside as we sail, that's going to be that's where you're going to find me, right? So that's the nice thing with Norwegian, that you have lots of different options of where you want to eat throughout the ship. So
Absolutely. Now, I'll take a moment here to pause. Whenever we're packing, I don't know about your house, but when we're packing our house, it's like thunder and lightning sometimes with my lovely wife. But for those of you that are looking at this and wondering what casual resort is, take a look at what they're wearing in here. There's no tuxedos. It's very casual. So ladies, you know, you get to see what they're wearing here. The guys, collared shirts, nice pair of slacks on there. Your best shoes. So yeah, that's what you're looking for throughout your 7, 14, 21 day trip. You know, and there's laundry services too. So if you need something done, you can go do it yourself or ship it out to get it done. They're very quick about this.
Oh, but you're on vacation. Who wants to do laundry?
Yeah, no, that's what, I'll send the boys to go do that. And we'll talk about multi-generation cruising again, but I love this shot because this is a new feature to the NCL ships. And I call this like the Miami style, when you're on the street and stuff. I think you described it as like being in Paris.
That's what I do. I feel like I'm in Paris, you know, at the Paris coffee shops, like on the road, on the, you know, on the sidewalks, and you're people watching. I love it.
Yeah, so you can certainly people watch because there's a little bit of a walking track or the outdoor spaces. So yeah, maximizing outdoor spaces is very common now on these vessels, and having a good time. You can see people are having fun here. I did touch a little bit on multi-generational here for a second. So I did want to talk a little bit about something that I love, and these are going back. I'm going to go backwards and watch these again. Talk to me about the Haven. I just love the Haven.
So the Haven is, you know, it's a ship in a ship. So it's, you know, exclusive. You get your butler service, you get your 24-hour concierge service. You have your own lounge, your own restaurant. You know, it's great for the honeymooners. You know, let's say grandma and grandpa are, you know, taking the whole family, and they just want to sort of have their own private place where they can actually go to, have their own access area to go to.
Escape everybody else. It's like the
escape everybody, because sometimes you need that, especially for, you know, wedding groups. We tend to see a lot of the brides and the grooms for honeymoons, for the weddings. They tend to go to the Haven so that they can escape from the family. So yeah, and lots of options for accommodation, right? You have the 2-bedroom family villas, you have, you know, the penthouse aft, and lots of flexibility. The nice thing I like about the Haven, you have your own courtyard, your own pool area that is only exclusive for the Haven guests. So, you know, if you're lying by the pool and you just having that mojito and you want that lime or extra mint, you just need to call your, you know, the concierge, and they'll come and bring all that extra stuff for you. Yeah,
this is kind of like your all-inclusive nature with the butler, the top shelf, like getting your tippy toes for those specialty drinks. I think it's more like an 5-star all-inclusive on a ship. Yes. Right? Like the marbled bathrooms, the butler service. They know what you want and don't want. You know, we spent some time as, I mean, some of them even come with little pianos in their rooms and stuff in the suites. So it is all stuff. And I think for those that are looking for that splurge, you know, they've been pent up, they haven't traveled. This is one of those opportunities. And I also think, correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody else from our family here wants to jump in, if those people that are watching us today, they probably have friends that prefer going to Hawaii or going down to an all-inclusive resort somewhere in the Caribbean. And you can't get them onto a ship because they just love that all-inclusive nature. Here's the solution. Come and join me in the Haven.
And it is, and it's nice because you don't have the big crowds that you'd have on the rest of the ship. And the other nice thing about the Haven is, you know, all of our Broadway entertainment, you get preferred seating in the theaters. So you have the best world because you have the Haven. But if you want to go and do all the entertainment, you want to go and do the specialty restaurants, the comedies show, you're just out the door, and there you are, right? So
you're
that's the nice
right
thing
there. You've got priority, and you kind of feel like you're Oprah or Tom Cruise because they usher you down, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
They get
That's
you,
right.
They get you right in there.
You're like the movie star.
Yeah, you're who that. So if you want to live vicariously as a superstar, you can do it through the Haven. But I'm sure there's other things that we can do. What other suites are there out there?
I really like the 2-bedroom in the Haven, and we actually just passed the picture. It accommodates 6. So for a family that have kids, grandma and grandpa and the kids, you pretty much have a 2-bedroom little condo with that minus the kitchen. But of course, you have someone to cook for you.
Somebody's cooking for me.
Right? It's a great option for families. And sometimes, like you had said, the pricing can really surprise you.
Yeah. And if you take a look, folks, here, I know it's the small details, but I've been on a lot of ships that just came off a ship, and you know what? There's a bathtub there. So just imagine how big that washroom is. You can actually turn around and think for a moment, right? So, and again, pretty skookum looking place in here. Bed and linens, top of the line, comfortable. Safety protocols are in place with a lot of the vessels now. What they're doing is your butler or your room attendant, if that's the right term for it, Fatima, they're not going to enter in while you're in there, right? They're not going to do that crossover. So they're very cognitive of who's in the room coming and going on that. Look at this. This is very modern looking styles. Now, if you're really, Fatima, why did you put that in there?
You know, the studio stateroom is, I'm a single traveler.
Put the kids. I was just going to say, I've been in one of these before because it's a special spot on the ship, which even has its own amenities.
It does. You have your own lounge. And I always, like my friends always say, Fatima, are you staying in the studio lounge? And I'm like, yes, but it's not like the Bachelor or the Bachelorette where you can go and meet somebody at the lounge, because you have your own exclusive singles lounge if you're staying in the studio stateroom. So that's always a joke that, oh, it's not the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. So, because you have all ages, you know, from 21 till 80, 90 that stay in the single studios. Because if you're traveling alone, no single supplement, the price is amazing and you have the access to the lounge. So.
Yeah, and so for those that have people coming and going in their life and stuff, and maybe they want to travel, there's 5 people and they can't find that extra person. So what you do is, go in the studio. And I've stayed in the studio. I did a 7-day cruise there, and it's a blast because there's that LED lighting that gives you that atmosphere of daytime or nighttime. Private hallway. It's keyed. It's a gated little studio.
It is. It's
Full-on bar, wine little thing. You can do your wine. It's a 2-story. You got TVs. You know what's going on in the world. Then you can step into the ship, and you're in a different world again. So yeah.
It's fantastic. Oh, we're zooming somewhere.
We're zooming again. Okay, well, let's talk about a little bit about the elephant that's in the room. We know that we're going through a point in our lives here, folks, and I'll be honest with you, it has been a tremendous 19 months of change. And if you're here today listening to this and watching this, then you've done quite well on going with the flow. Fatima, tell us a little bit about some of the health and safety features that NCL has introduced.
So we've introduced a lot, of course. One of the main ones is HEPA filters. So we have HEPA filters now on all of our ships. Even our vacuums have HEPA filters now. So it's the type of filters that all the hospitals use. We also have increased medical resources. So just an example on the Encore, which is one of our biggest ships doing Alaska right now, we would normally have like 1 doctor. We're between 2 and 3 doctors. Normally we would have 2 nurses. We're up to 7 nurses on the ships. So we also have a safety officer that all he takes care of is COVID issues or COVID testing or any of that kind of stuff. Sanitizing, of course, as anyone that's traveled on Norwegian, we all, by the end of the time we get off the ship, we're singing the washy, washy, happy, happy dance. So
Yeah.
a lot more of those throughout the ship. So that is a big one for us. And then I think the next slide is being fully vaccinated 100%, right? So I have to say the ultimate freedom and the benefits of us being 100% vaccinated is cruise mask free. Really only our staff are wearing masks, no social distancing. All the restaurants and all the bars, Broadway shows, comedy clubs, everything is as before the COVID, before the pandemic, no restrictions. So you're surrounding yourself with safety and you're having fun. You know, I had a lot of coworkers that have actually just gotten off ships, and they're like, you can't even tell that there's COVID or any types of restrictions or anything because everything is happening as it was before, right? So people are having a good time. It's just, it hasn't really, you can't really tell the difference. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and this is not something that NCL's pulled out of the hat or dusted off the shelf, because NCL actually was one of the partners at the health and safety panel of cruise lines for the last year and a half, has it not?
Yes, we have. So we were, us and the Royal Caribbean family, we put together a health and safety program to introduce to the CDC. So yes, we're, you know, and that's something that the big boss, Frank Del Rio, he, from the beginning of COVID, he would tell us all the time. And, you know, he would always say, if I don't feel safe traveling with my family and my parents on the ships, we're not going to sail. So until I'm 120% feel safe, that's when we're going to start sailing. And that's when we started sailing back in August. So
absolutely. So I mean, they take it seriously, folks. And it's an evolving, right? And so we do have to understand that there will be changes to the good, and the cruise lines are becoming leaders because they have this oversight that other travel sectors don't have. And so kudos to the cruise lines and the crew who actually make all this happen. I know I just came back off of a vessel, as does my colleagues here. And yeah, if you've got a concern, they take it seriously and they take note of it because they are continuing to enhance those tools. Tell us a little about this COVID testing.
It's included, so you actually don't have to worry about it. So just an example, if you're sailing this weekend, let's just say out of Seattle on the Encore, you pretty much drop off your bags. We direct you over to the Marriott, which is right across the street from the ship. You get your free COVID test, so you don't have to worry about finding a place to get it done. You get your COVID test done, and within 15 minutes, it's a bingo number. Your bingo number pops up. You get your bracelet, you're negative, and you're on the ship within like 15 minutes having your first drink. And then, of course, for us Canadians that need our PCR test, you will get a letter in your stateroom stating, hey, we're doing free PCR tests at the Cavern Club between this time and this time. And then you will have your results that evening in your stateroom so that you have it for disembarkation. So easy peasy.
It is easy peasy. You know, I was overseas in Europe when this all, and I did a similar thing where the ship takes care of it all. You show up 5 minutes. My boys watched me. I didn't flinch, you know, being the dad. But yeah, we got the letter and off you go. And you know what? If you're going to spend a few extra days in port, that's your decision. You know, post cruise, you just need to make sure that you follow that 72-hour linear timeline. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, get a hold of your travel consultant. They know all about the ArriveCan app. And again, NCL is taking the guesswork out of this. They're just making sure that you're going to step through this, travel safely. Fatima, if I can for a moment, just talk about this. You know, my wife made me second guess our trip that we just came from because she's concerned, right? She works in industry, frontline people as well. She's in fitness. She sees people. She was concerned about traveling overseas. Literally, when we got on the ship and she saw what was going on and the testing that we had to do, it was never a conversation for the 10 days that we were traveling, right? I myself started second guessing myself being the dad. Well, is she right? Oh, no, she can't be right. She's my wife. But yeah, my wife was right. But you know what? Everything was safe. We got to the airport to leave. It was packed full, but my confidence level was so high going, Everybody was tested to get off the ship. Everybody standing in this airport has to be tested to get back into Canada or wherever they're flying internationally, and they have to be double vaccinated. So very safe.
It is very safe. Like I tell, my friends and family, you go to Costco, you go to Superstore. I feel safer on a ship, to be honest with you, because I know everybody's vaccinated, right? So, but it's everybody,
Yeah. So we're looking again at the Haven. Those are some beautiful private. Oh, I wanted to stop on the Horizon Lounge. You have to describe this new style of shipbuilding that NCL has introduced. And you can see it here in the Horizon Lounge, folks. Fatima, over to you.
It's Horizon Lounge, which is just above our observation lounge. So it wraps around deck 15, and this is deck 16. So this is the Haven's own observation lounge. So our last 3 ships, so the Bliss, the Encore, and the Joy, we decided to do an observation lounge. So it's 180 degrees of beautiful views. So for Alaska, I've done Alaska on the Bliss. And it's just breathtaking because as soon as you get off the elevator, the forward elevator on deck 15 or 16, you pretty much walk around. And if you're going through the glaciers, you do not miss one single view of when you're going through the glaciers. The other nice thing with the lounge, the Horizon Lounge, is there's sitting areas, there's a bar, so if you want to drink, there's munchies, there's food. So you really don't have to go anywhere really when you're hanging out in the Horizon or in the observation lounge.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this, because it's above the bridge area, it extends out to the side of the ship. So you get the same view that the bridge staff are getting.
Exactly.
Pull into Glacial Bay, you can sit there. There's a bar, so you don't even have to get up for that and miss anything that's happening out there. Gorgeous views, tons of sunlight. It's non-obstructed views. And those chairs that you can see here, folks, they're large.
They are large.
I'm 6'4", and you sit into it, and it's like giving me a hug. It's just, it's comfortable, it's enjoyable, and there's a spot for everybody up here.
There is, and the chases are amazing. Like the chases are like you're in your own little world, like your own area, right? So it's, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Fatima, you know me. I love food. I like
makes
dining.
2 of us. Makes 2 of us.
We're not going to name, I'm not going to put you on the spot naming all the locations in here, but let's go a few of the highlights. We saw that gorgeous dining room, multi-level dining room with tons of sunlight. I could just imagine there being a sunset leaving, say, Athens or leaving Barcelona and having supper sailways. But tell us a little bit about some of the other restaurants and the uniqueness behind them.
So we have, like you had mentioned, we have lots of options. We have of course, our main dining rooms. This is one of my favorite areas, which is Ocean's Pub, our Irish pub on our older ships, and our newer ships, it's called the Local. It's my first stop when I get on the ships. The wings, you can't beat the wings at the Local or Ocean's Pub, and the carrot cake. And the nice thing I like about it is if you don't feel like the whole dining room experience, but we're having the prime rib special that night, just go to the Local, go to the pub, because they're going to be serving it also, and you're more of a pub atmosphere. We also have La Cucina, which is one of my favorites, the Italian restaurant. La Bistro, which has the best French onion soup. And then I can't forget Cagney's, because Cagney's is my family favorite.
Yeah.
Those lobster mashed potatoes.
Where else are you going to get lobster mashed potatoes?
Right?
Where else are you going to get that? I mean, you have to book a reservation in downtown Vancouver to find something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about all these. We're talking about all these special things, but I'm sure you have healthy choices on board.
We do. So example, actually, our buffet, I think we have the best buffet. The Garden Cafe is the best, I think, out of all of the ships. You have Indian cuisine, you have vegetarian area, and the nice thing about our staff right at the entrance of any restaurants or even our buffet, our Garden Cafe, you'll have a staff member asking there, do you have any allergies? Do you have any preferences? And I think that's huge because, nowadays everybody has either gluten intolerance or dairy intolerance, or you're vegan, or you can't have certain types of meats. we accommodate all of those requests, and that's the nice thing. And I guess being freestyle and having so many dining options, it gives us that flexibility that we're able to offer all the different types of options and diets and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
like I've got an allergy to like pumpkin squash zucchinis, right? And so as soon as you come in, it's a subtle, you know what, this is, they ask you, is there anything that you can't do? They make sure that it's not on the menu, or they, hey, the soup is going to have something in there, like would avoid those types of things. This is actually one of my shots from the Bliss, I think it was.
that's right, it was, yeah.
It was, but there's the kitchen in the background. Like you can see them making it. It's not like Gordon Ramsay back there, but it's fresh, it's warm, it's not coming out of some hole in the wall. I mean, they're making it right there for you. So if you want, and I put the menu up here for everybody to see, I mean, it is super fresh and delicious.
Well, that's one thing I like about our Mexican restaurant. Have you had the guacamole, Andrew?
Where
they
there were so many things going on that trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to eat at every restaurant. I never got to every restaurant.
Yeah, they bring out the guacamole and they make it right in front of you, like in Mexico. It's amazing.
Super fresh. Now where is this?
This is the Q Steakhouse. So the Q Steakhouse was introduced on the Bliss. And one thing I like about, if you're into country and you like your country music, we actually have smokers at the Q Steakhouse, and we actually put our brisket, pulled pork, and the ribs in the morning. So by the time dinner comes, they just melt in your mouth. And the atmosphere at the Q Steakhouse is fantastic because it turns into a country nightclub at in the evenings. So you can have dinner and then just enjoy the evening and put on your cowboy boots and your cowboy hats and off you go, right? So it's a lot of fun.
You can live vicariously as a cowboy. And by the way, in the mornings when you walk past this place, you can get a whiff of that beautiful oh, it's just like, what's going on in here? It's just like your district with their own brew upstairs.
That's right, and our cellar.
Oh, yes. Let's not forget. Well, let's talk about the cellar.
So the cellar is our wine. So if you're a wine lover, the cellar is the place to go. And especially with our beverage package, you can actually go and wine tasting. Like I did the Okanagan a couple of weeks ago and we did the wine tour, and we hopped from place to place. And I'm like, wow, on the ship, I don't even have to hop. I can just try all the different types of wine in one seat, right? So
yeah, and again, it's part of your package that you get. It's included. If you like something, great. I'm going to have this at the next restaurant or at my next meal tomorrow or wherever it may be. Or, hey, can I get this delivered to my cabin?
Exactly. Oh, these desserts look really yummy. So
yeah, and the best thing I like about this is trying something new, because if you're going to have a couple of drinks, I'm not driving home. Captain's driving.
That's right. You can crawl back to your stateroom. So, and that's a nice thing with our beverage package. It's unlimited drinks. So you can take advantage and try a 7-night cruise. You can pretty much try all the different types of wines that we offer around the world, wines from all over the world that you can try. And the nice thing we do on sea days is we have wine tasting, that they actually do wine tasting with different types of macaroons. So it's actually a lot of fun. So if you love your wine, that's a great little thing to take advantage of on sea days.
Yes, and we've got the Starbucks on board.
We do.
The barista and the traditional stuff. Here's another shot to give you an example of the lookout.
The observation lounge.
The observation lounge. It's a beautiful spot. Oh, here's the cellar. There we go.
There it is. So yeah.
And you can get the tapas at this, I believe. Like you can have a little tapas on the sides while you're tasting.
It's mostly just wine, but you can, because La Cocina is right next to the cellar. But this is really the hangout spot before and after dinner because it's centrally located.
Yeah, it's the spot. It's along like I call the runway, right? It's like the I-5, right? It's along this thing. Everybody meets up here. They get a little get together. Somebody's running late. They forgot something. They need a camera. They come back, right? So this is the meeting point, and then everybody goes off for their evening. So great things here. This is why, again, this is a very fun place to be.
This is my favorite, the district.
This is definitely up there. My business partner would prefer the cellar. I prefer the brew house, but I'm gonna let you talk about the brew house here.
Me too. You know what? This is like exactly like I said, it's my favorite spot. We have about 24 different types of beers on tap, as you can see on the picture. And then we also have all different types of bottled beer also. So if you're a beer drinker, this is the place for you. And the best part about the district is in the evening, it sort of turns into, I don't know if you got to meet the pianist, the comedian pianist. Like, I'd be very hesitant always walking in because he'd be doing his comedy, singing and comedy songs. And if you were walking in, he'd make a joke about you. So it's a fun night. And the nice thing about the district, it's maybe a 2-minute walk to the cellar and also to the Cavern Club where the Beatles play. So it's, like I said, it's one of my favorite spots. And then you also have access to the waterfront. So if you want to go and take, a nice stroll or sit outside and have a beer, you can do that too, right? So
I remember a lot of laughter, a lot of fun times, and you let your hair down in here. And yes, I was a victim of the piano guy, and I'm not great, and I'm just not great with comebacks. And it was just like, moving along. Behind this picture, if somebody was if you were taking the picture behind you, you got TVs with all the latest sporting, everything going on sporting worldwide. So yeah, you definitely, there they are. Actually, this is outside the casino, I believe. But yeah, TVs all over the place. They're connected to the world. You know what's happening. You can watch games. You definitely combine the best of art and technology here. Zooming right along, let's talk about some of the facilities and entertainment and things. Where are we now?
We're on the adults only section on Spice H2O. So this is exclusive area just for adults. So on certain of our ships, it's at the aft of the ship. So, and then at nighttime, it turns into a nightclub on some of the ships. Here's the Haven Complex, the pool area with the hot tubs. And here you are with your concierge butler service giving you treats while you lie by the pool. You can't go wrong.
I feel like one of those gods that just brought me food. I just came from Greece. So yes, I mean, they just fed me galore there. And if you've got families, if you got teenagers or young kids, look at this. I forget what you called the slide over here on the left. It's like shoot me out to the ocean slide.
Oh
no?
It's the shoot you. You pretty much do a drop. So we have the 2 big water slides, and then we have the mini water park for the little ones. And then next to the kids' little water park, that's the family pool. And then, which is not on the other side, that's where the adults pool area is also. So it's a nice big pool deck with lots of chairs. So it's really accommodating for everybody. And so here's the big drop. So Andrew, did you get to experience it? Because I've been chicken. I haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, I was afraid because I'm so tall of getting stuck in the bend. No, I have not done that yet. But yeah, look at that. I mean, that starts up above the deck by one deck, and now it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4 decks below. I mean,
it's a drop. It's a drop. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's always excited to get on it. So, but
there was so much to do. The ship itself is a destination. There was so much to do, and we're coming up to something. Yeah, we have the kids parking. We're coming up to something which I like a lot.
I know there's a picture of you.
I was here most of the time. I think I spent more time on the racetrack and in the district. And you know what? You can go out. There's a French bistro, I think, to the right of this place, right? So you can go for supper in your suit and then go race car driving that same night. Just don't tell them you were drinking.
That's what I was going to say. No drinking driving. So
no drinking driving. But yeah, you're the only cruise lines that's got this.
We do, and it's a favorite. It's a favorite. I know that when you ask my 17-year-old, hey, what ship do you want to go? He will pick either the Bliss, the Encore, or the Joy because he lives on the racetrack, just like Andrew. And I think Jeremy probably had some good times on the racetrack also. So
you know what?
It's different, especially when you're in Alaska going through, you're just sailing through the glaciers and you're doing the racetrack. It's where else can you race in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah. And I know people looking at this going, well, that's not for me. Trust me, we all are a kid at heart. I have a lot of my colleagues from across Canada, United States. Guess what? We all got onto this, and we're all a spectrum of age groups, and we all had the giggles and the funs about it. So yes. And for those teenagers and those young adults at heart, you know, we do have laser tag on board as well, and it lights up at nighttime, so that's pretty cool. There we are.
Yeah, and the nice thing with too, for anyone that has like the smaller kids, we do have the double seater, so that if mom and dad want to ride with the little ones, they can do that. So that's the nice thing about that too.
Yeah, lots of fun. I think you're the only cruise line with a bowling alley.
Yes, which that's a lot of fun during when the sea is rough. It could be in your favor or not so in your favorite.
Yeah.
So we do have bowling alleys on a couple of our ships, and then we also have the laser tag on. That's also a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing laser tag.
Yeah. Now you do have lots of shows. I know we just went past a couple of them: Jersey Boys, the musicals,
Footloose, Kinky Boots.
So all the lovely things. Now, again, this is not, hey, your waiter was serving you drinks in the afternoon. Now they go off and do this. Tell us a little bit about who's actually doing these shows, where they're from.
So we actually have a theater in Fort Lauderdale where we actually hire staff and we actually train all the dancers. So example, Footloose, where everybody loves Footloose. It's all trained staff. Like they're actually at our theater, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, they're training before they actually get on the ships. So it's entertainment, it's Broadway shows, it's like the Jersey Boys. When I saw the Jersey Boys, it was like, wow, actually, I had seen it on Broadway and I couldn't even tell the difference when I saw it on the ship compared to Broadway. So
I was just going to ask you now, this is all included in my fare? All
included. Yep. And we normally have 2 shows per night. So for any of the families or anyone that likes the earlier shows and not the late shows, you have the 2 options. So that's
right. So I haven't been to New York in a few years, but I'm sure the cost of going to a Broadway show is a good evening. But I can do this all in a ship. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So you know what? If you're coming up on an event in your life, whether it be a marriage, if you're getting married, if you're having a birthday or something, this is the time to start planning ahead and going, you know what? We've been 2 years looking at each other, living through and following the guidelines and stuff. Now is the time to let loose, right? And have some fun on board. I know this place opens at 11 o'clock at night when the comedian comes out.
So yeah, so the social comedy nightclub, yes, it is a comedy club. So normally we have 2 shows. We have a family friendly one at 7, and then we have an adult only comedy show at 10, and then put on your dancing shoes because we have different themes every night. So it's a lot, lots of dancing.
Lots of dancing, lots of fun. And if you're not into dancing like me, because I have 2 left feet, I definitely have luck of the charm because I'm part Irish. So
really?
You can head out to the casino. Well, I consider, hey, if I don't think that no one's helping me with this.
So.
Well, you have all the latest games at the casinos, right? The one-armed bandit through everything. So yeah, you can try your luck.
Lots of slot machines. And the nice thing about our casinos, they're nice and large. So lots of places to spend money.
And fresh air, right?
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people know if you've been on a ship, you kind of go, oh, yeah, I know about the casino. But no, fresh. Yeah, and if you ever thought about staying healthy, they do have a gym. I've been in it.
We do. Personal trainer. If you decide to do a personal trainer while you're on vacation, if you're like me, my workout clothes goes in my suitcase, and at the end of the week, it's at the bottom of the suitcase because it wasn't used. So
it's still the freshest piece of clothing we've got. Yeah.
Right.
But not only are you going to have the gym, but you also can go and learn about the detox. You can go about your foot alignments and all the other things that you can do. There's a spa usually nearby.
Acupuncture, you can do acupuncture if you want to go get your hair cut. There's a hair salon, there's a barber shop for the men. So
yeah, don't tell anybody, but what I like to do, come close to everybody. If you go up to the gym, they usually have flavored water. So you go up with your own water bottle, fill it up, you got whatever flavor you like, cucumber and mint or lime and stuff. And then you go on your shore excursion. And it's super cold already for you.
Now
Yes,
we know
don't tell
we saw
anybody.
the water.
Yes, steal the water. And again, beautiful shops of everything.
Yes.
I mean, from jewelry to logo wear to Lacoste, everything out there. So for those of you, I saw a lot of the faces on here, so you may have grandchildren or teenager children. And you know what? What a great idea to have a get together. I mean, if you're not local or if they are far away, make the ship the meeting point. Don't worry, you're not, grandma and grandpa are not going to be babysitting or child minding, I think is the right term I should have used.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of facilities trained and that you can drop them off and go do something. And the kids will be just absorbed into this.
Fantastic time. And they actually sometimes don't want to leave because they've met new friends, right? So it's...
Yep. It's like that first day of kindergarten. No!
That's right.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're like, I don't want to leave. So yeah, we have lots of activities.
You end up packing whatever they build and you have to take it home and hopefully it doesn't get crushed. Yeah. Oh, here we go. That's where it is. Yeah. And again, for the teenagers, I mean, they get to a certain age, I think they can go off. They have special little programs for them as well, where they are semi-supervised, but you know what? There's lots of things for them to go and do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue to zoom on. Oh, look at this.
Oh,
this is looking very sleek.
It is. She's very, very pretty, very beautiful. Well, she's going to be. So she will be our next new ship coming out August of 2022. So next year. And you guys will be the first to see a little peek. I have a little video. I think we have a video.
We do. Let me see if I can get it to work. Okay. Because sometimes things don't work with it. So let's go here. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. I like the pool on the outside.
Oh, those infinity pools. So the whole concept of the Prima is looking out, not looking in. So yeah, a lot of pool areas. This is going to be the food hall area because we love food. It's a new concept for Norwegian. Yeah, that the food hall is just amazing. And her itineraries, make sure you contact any of the Expedia Cruises consultants that you're dealing with, because she has some amazing itineraries from the Caribbean to Europe, some from Amsterdam, Copenhagen, her transatlantic, so lots of different itineraries for the Prima. So she's breathtaking. She's gonna change things for us. Yeah,
modern, contemporary. She's fantastic. Mm-hmm. She's certainly raising the game in the cruise line industry. And what I like about this, Fatima, is we've had, let's call it 2 years, right, of wondering what's happened. The cruise lines are betting a lot of money to come up with new vessels. And so the cruise lines are already on the next chapter knowing that this is going to recover and they're getting ready for it. So.
Well, the Prima, when we launched her in May, we had some of her itineraries that sold out within a couple of days for 22.
I know.
And you were one of them.
I think a few of our other offices tried as well and were successful. And yeah, it's in demand. So yeah, there's lots of demand out there.
She is demand. And the nice thing is that she's going to have another sister coming out soon, and she'll be out in 2023. So we will have 6 of the Prima ships coming out. Every single year we'll have a new ship starting next year. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. And I get asked all the time, hey, what's happening? What should I do? And stuff. And my go-to answer these days is lock in with a deposit, right? Because if you're thinking of traveling in 2022, and this applies to all of my colleagues here on the call today, lock yourself in, put the deposit down, lock yourself in and go with that. Because if you delay even 2 to 3 months from now, those ships are full. You're now planning 23, 24, or what's left over is not what we showed you in today's presentation. You didn't see an inside cabin because we're not going to recommend an inside cabin to you when you're traveling. I mean, you've worked hard enough to go on a trip. Inside cabin is not what you're going to go for here. So, consider what's going on in the world today. I can't predict the future, but I do know one thing I am going to predict: ships are selling out, ships are filling. You're going to miss the ship.
Yeah, they are. And the whole thing too is what happens with demand. Pricing goes higher. So sometimes, you'll see a price in the morning, but you know what? Someone at the same time that you're looking at that is booking a cabin. So pricing tends to go up sometimes pretty high. And we've seen that with the Prima, that especially, right, Andrew?
It's all of them, and it's going to be the destinations too, because the cruise lines are very aware of what's required to travel. I think there's like 78 countries with requirements. So the cruise lines know what they're doing, and so they're making what they call, say, Greek intensive or Spain intensive voyages, or interesting transatlantics that touch one or two countries along the way, because they need to limit, right? And so yes, you're still going to get a fabulous experience. You're going to be engulfed and, you know, just absorbed into, you know, the Canary Islands and all of Spain and stuff. But yeah, these sailings are going to be unique. They're going to be only around for another year, and then things are going to start changing back, right? And so if you see something that's unique, grab it.
And that's what we're finding, actually, and you guys are probably seeing the same thing. You know, we've all been tucked in for the last 18 months, that the itineraries that are selling out for us are the unique itineraries. You know, it's the Bally's, it's the, you know, the Holy Land itineraries that are selling, because people have been saving up and they're doing the bucket list. And, you know, you did Greece, right? Like Europe is a hot one for us right now. So
yeah, and everybody's going to be there. So let's go over this offer one last time, Fatima. It's already started, I believe.
Yeah, so it started on Monday until the 23rd. And so exclusive to Expedia, we're doing free onboard gratuities for first and second guest for balcony, 7 nights and higher. And on top of the free gratuities, you're getting the 30% off. We have the free open bar, specialty dining, you got the shore excursions, Wi-Fi, free guest, extra guest, so your third or fourth guest sail free. And the best part is it's combinable with our air promo. So some of our sail dates, we have the air promotion where the second guest sails free. I was actually looking for my son and I, because we wanted to do the Mexican Riviera on January the 2nd on the Bliss. And airfare is only going to cost us $199. So you cannot go, you can't go wrong, right? So, and with our air promotion,
you can't find that in off the shelf. No,
you can't. And so it's a great offer. Like I had mentioned when we started, it is a value of savings of $2,900. And, you know, with a beverage package, you know, you can go to the wine cellar, you can go to the district. You can start drinking at 9 in the morning and finish at 3 in the morning, because we don't count how many drinks you have. So that's
But that also includes, for those that are listening, I may not drink a lot, but it also includes your specialty coffees, your carbonated drinks, your San Pellegrinos and things of that nature as well. I think it doesn't cover pressed juices, Starbucks or your Starbucks coffee. Yeah, well, no one ever does that here in Canada either. So,
but your card works. So if you are a Starbucks reward like I am, you can actually use your Starbucks card. So that's the nice thing.
I made a comment, and probably all of you heard this. For $199 to travel Vancouver to LAX, you can't get that anywhere. You probably can get it, but you're probably leaving at a very strange time of the day. Will you actually get to the ship? Or are you leaving at midnight, getting into LAX at 1:30 in the morning? Yeah, this is not an itinerary. It's an air itinerary that's going to get you to the ship. It's going to be reasonable at time of day, so on and so forth. So yeah, if somebody's going, well, I can actually find a cheaper fare. Yeah, you probably can, but it's probably brutal. Layover in San Francisco for 11 hours before you get to LA. I've seen it, trust me.
Yeah, so it is. It's so don't miss out on the promotion. So and one thing I'm going to add before you go, for anyone that is on and listening, I will offer $150 onboard credit exclusive to you guys on top of the freestyle sale. So
everybody write that down. 150. What currency?
US.
US. The almighty US. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on, and we appreciate your time to come here this evening and be with us. What I'm going to do here is I am going to change the slide here just for a moment, Fatima, and then we're going to come back to any Q&As. Hey, team, listeners here today, you should never travel anywhere without talking to us about how to protect for the unanticipated accidents that can happen out there. Anything can happen. It can be lost luggage. It can be a delay of returning back to Vancouver for whatever reason. Trust me, I did a trip a little while ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I tried to wing it going, I don't need, it's only 3 days. And you know what? I really wrecked my ankle. And it was one of those moments, as soon as I went down and I knew it, right? And it's like, oh, I should have had insurance. How do I get back to BC quickly, right? Type of a thing. So yeah, don't bet it. Talk to us about it. We'll certainly find you the right plan to do this. For those of you watching here today and attending, you hopefully are going to be reaching out to your travel consultant. Even give them a hello, a hi, please. I know they'd be love to chat with you to know that you've weathered the storm, and no questions off the table. Ask the question. We are professionals. We're here to provide the advice and our experiences when it comes to planning your dream vacation. So thank you. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this presentation off and let's come back and see everybody, Fatima.
Yes, I think we have some questions. One question.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull it up here. What is our, where are we here? Where is my list? Do you see it? I see lots of smiling faces here, and it's...
The question?
Yeah, here we go. The chat, I just found it. Okay, well, there's nothing in the chat.
There is one question to me, and I know it's probably on everybody's top of mind.
Yes.
Does NCL allow for mixed vaccines? So the only mixed vaccine, and this is only applicable for US ports, is that we do not allow the AstraZeneca, Moderna, or the AstraZeneca, Pfizer. Those are the two that we do not, that's not considered fully vaccinated per the CDC. So if you have a Moderna, Pfizer, then you are able to travel. That is considered fully vaccinated. Just make sure that you, like Andrew said, just, you know what, stay in touch with your Expedia Cruises consultants, because anytime a policy changes, which sometimes it changes within 5 minutes, they're up to date with everything, and they have it up to date and they know what's going on. So just, yeah, it's very important to keep in touch.
There we go. Yeah, it changes. We have resources at our fingertips. All of our travel consultants have the resources, the latest and greatest of what's happening. So yeah, we pull up the website, we'll read through it and update it. And it's changing. We have people coming in all the time asking us, what has it changed, what's happening and stuff. So we do stay close to the ground. Another question just came in here. How does the buffet work nowadays?
The same.
Yeah.
Because our ship is fully vaccinated and our staff are all wearing masks, you pretty much serve yourself still on our buffets. The only difference that you will notice is that they're changing the utensils all the time. So that's the only difference.
Right. So yeah, again, if you have questions about, hey, what's going on, or you want somebody to serve you, that's not a problem, because they will still, hey, I would like this, this, and this, and somebody else will load up your plate to meet you over at your table and stuff. They do that. They did that before, and they can still do that today.
Well, and the nice thing with us, because if, there's lots of people that aren't buffet lovers. I personally, my weight doesn't like the buffet, but I enjoy the buffet. You have the dining rooms. So sometimes we have the dining rooms that open up for lunch or breakfast, and there's the local, like I had mentioned, that you can actually go and have an a la carte sit down breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? So
yeah. Question about the specialty restaurants. Are they included, or is there a fee for them, and how does that work?
So with the specialty restaurants, if you get our free at sea promotion, which is on right now, you do get, depending on, so if you're sailing 7 days, you get 3 free specialty dining. So it's unlimited. So when you do the specialty dining package, you get 3 restaurants that you choose from, and it's unlimited. So you can go to Cagney's and pick an appetizer, a salad, a main course, and your dessert, and you're like rolling out of there.
Yeah. And so are any of these restaurants, is there a cover charge for some of them? If you didn't book, if let's say they booked after the promotion, which I've got to find on my desk here.
So majority of them, it's a la carte pricing. The only one that has the surcharge is our teppanyaki, which is our Japanese, and that one is 29. I think it's 29 US per person, and that's for the whole teppanyaki. They cook in front of you, you eat, and they do the show in front of you. So
they do the show, and that's just charged back to your room, which at the end of the day is settled on your credit card. It's a cashless society.
it is.
Well, and again, if you did do that, the OBC that you get from Fatima for being here today will cover off a couple of visits to the restaurant and maybe even some sake.
Well, you can actually buy the package. So if you don't have the package when you're doing your online check-in, you can actually purchase the package. So
we don't let people travel without buying the package.
No,
we tell them
you need
all
our
about
specialty.
the packages here. I can see the franchise partners nodding. Yes, we tell them about everything, and we do. Like, yeah. We've been here before. Moving on to some of the questions here. Are the ships sailing at full capacity?
No, they're not. So now is the time to sail.
Yeah.
You know, especially with our bigger ships, it's at 60%. So between 50 and 60% right now. So it's, now's the time because you pretty much have the ship.
No lineups.
No lineups.
Yeah. I was just on a ship that's built for 700 and there was 251 passengers on board. There was never a lineup anywhere, right? So it was fantastic. So no, they're not going at full capacity. It is a requirement that they have cabins set aside and they, get back into the sailing. Are the lounges full? No, the lounges won't be full. And masks, are they required?
Masks are not required.
Discretionary?
Let me backtrack that for some areas. I know some destinations in Europe, some ports in Europe, they mandate masks. Any of our US itineraries, masks aren't mandatory for our guests, but some of the Europe ports, those governments have required masks being mandatory. But
I just did a Greek intensive, and you know what? You have the information in your stateroom the day before we're entering into Mykonos. It's not required, but we recommend it that if you're in the alleys or it gets busy to have a mask. If you're in various countries, going indoors, just like here, you're going to wear a mask indoors, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's pretty much the status quo. But on the ship itself, if I'm walking, I say wandering, if I'm walking through the ship or outside, do I need a mask on if I'm going to the casino? Nada.
Not with
so you won't
us,
get
no.
So I won't come away with a tan.
No,
my tan
you
line.
won't have that fancy tan line. Like that couple that pop up on Facebook with their mask tan line. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but yeah, exactly. You're not going to have that. I came from Greece for 10 days and there's no tan lines on me, right? But yeah, and it's discretion. I mean, if you want to wear them, you can wear it. And again, no one's going to say anything about that because we all know that it's safety first and it's your comfort zone. And you tend to put that back when you see the safety protocols and the testing is there and the cleaning is there and the protocols. Like the crew are not goofing around. They know their livelihoods at stake here if they goof around and they'll be dismissed. So everyone's prim and proper. So fantastic. Any other questions, team?
I do have one. Has the Spirit project been completely redone? It was completely redone February of 2019. So she was completely redone. And actually, if you go on YouTube there, if you put Norwegian Spirit, there's actually a video of her dry dock and what she looks like now. So she looks beautiful.
Lucky to get into a dry dock before COVID, because now trying to get into dry dock is impossible.
She actually sailed once, after she got out of dry dock. She had one, maybe two, before, unfortunately, things happened. So,
right. And well, I haven't seen any new questions coming in. I just looked at the time. We are exactly an hour on the nose, and if there aren't any more, I would say I'd give everybody the gift of time, but I have taken all of your time and I appreciate it. And all of our franchise partners here are part of the Travel Talk series. Appreciate it. Give us a call and come say hello, stop in. We'd love to chat with you. Even if you're not booking, just come in and chat because we're lonely. We want to see your faces again. We want to hear your next trips, what you have planned out there. Oh, any idea when the Canadian ports will be open? Last question. The government of Canada is November. So that's when they're allowing ships over 50 passengers to come in. But there's not much happening in November, as you know. So again, it's getting ready for the next season. So that is a nod to the industry from the Canadian government to go, yep, get ready for your Alaska season out of Vancouver. We're looking forward to having you back.
Yes, we are very excited.
Well, we should have fireworks on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and have yourselves a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everyone.